Hey everyone, Jason Owens here for Campaign Sauce Digital Marketing. Hope you are doing well today, and I'm really excited to have you here for a very quick case study that we're doing on selling more event tickets using Facebook ads and Eventbrite. So I've been working with a fair number of clients here recently that are in the restaurant industry, and we have done a lot of really fun things here, sold a lot of tickets, and had a really good time with just good old-fashioned live events. So I'm going to walk you through the exact architecture that we've been using, and hopefully if you want to go set this up on your own, you'll have more than enough to run with. And if you want some help with that, of course, don't look too far. You can always reach out to us. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so the events that we've been running are obviously in the food service industry. It's special event dinners. Now, this can be anything from holidays, right? You've got Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, right? So you have the big days there. Special dinners like wine dinners where you're going to pair a particular wine with a particular dish, right, for every course, okay, or a whiskey tasting, right? So those have been going over well. You can also try the celebrity chef, right? So you can bring in a chef from some Michelin-starred restaurant, right, or from some other well-known. Maybe you have some type of a chef influencer, right, who's going to create a special menu for you for that particular dinner, right? So again, that has a lot of really good marketing elements of kind of the one-time only, and if you don't do it now, you're going to miss out, right? So we have a lot of really good elements that you can dive into. Seating for these has been anywhere from like a really small intimate dinner, 30 people, all the way up to kind of that larger scale, 100 plus. So the techniques that I'll show you kind of work pretty well within that range. Ticket prices starting out at about $50 a ticket. Okay, so again, we're not aiming for like super high echelon here where you're doing like political dinners where everything's $5,000 a plate. No, we're talking things that are much more reasonable and accessible here to the masses. So $50 per ticket. You can add some upsells here. So we'll talk a little bit about that here in just a few minutes. So this is the architecture. So I promised I would show this to you, and this is it. So we've been hosting the event over on Eventbrite, right? So if your lingo is, where's your sales page? Yeah, we could have placed maybe that over on the website, but frankly, we found that we've been able just to get basically to run and gun over there on Eventbrite much quicker. We do have an email list that we're feeding into that sales page. So we have an email list that we've been marketing to, Facebook ads, right? So obviously using that, which is what this whole conversation's about. Yes, we've been doing some with social media posts. Frankly, folks, the game is rigged to a point where if you want sales from social media, you're going to have to go buy ads, right? Otherwise, you will get lots of likes and lots of hearts and all that, but probably not a whole lot of sales. Maybe onesie twosie. But we're feeding all of that down into the Eventbrite page. So we're driving people over to Eventbrite. And then, of course, we're looking for the sales to come out here of the bottom end. I would say 95% of what I want to talk about here is going to be through the Facebook ads. That's where we're getting the most traction. The email list has definitely been giving us some. So definitely don't overlook your email list. That should be free sales. So that's a good thing. So if you're not already building an email list for your restaurant, you really should, because it's a big deal. All right, so let's go into some results. Now, I'm taking this result from Eventbrite, okay? So we're inside of Eventbrite. They have some reporting. I pulled off one of the reports here. And let's just go ahead and look across the top line here. So we have 2,200 page visits. And of course, you can see that box is outlined. Okay, so that graph down at the bottom there, that is showing the page visits over time. You can, of course, continue across the top there. You can see orders sold. So 39 orders. Those 39 orders account for 83 tickets. Now, this last piece here across the top, 1.76 conversion rate. We're going to come back to that here in a few minutes. But for right now on this guy, let's take a look at the page visits. Now, we had, you can see here, tail end of January, tail end of December, very beginning of January. You can see that we were just, for those first few days, barely getting some traffic in there. We were getting some, but not a whole lot. You can definitely tell when we turned on the ads there on that third day, which is right about here is when we turn the ads on. So you can see here, obviously, we had a really good jump in traffic once we turned on the ads. This big spike right here, this is when we had ads running, plus we ran an email campaign. Okay, so that should give you an idea of the amount of traffic coming into your page. If you're not using an email list for your restaurant, you definitely should. Okay, so then what you're not seeing here is the difference between, say, the average of what we're seeing here plus here. That's when we increased the budget for the ads, the daily budget for the ads, okay? Then you can clearly tell when we turned off the ads, right? This particular event completely filled up, okay? So at that point, we turned off the ads, and even after we turned off the ads, we still had some people trickling in, whether it was social media, email, whatever, they were still trickling into the site. So this gives you an idea of what's happening here as far as traffic is concerned on one of our events, okay? All right, so here's traffic for event number 2, all right? So we turned on the ads for this event pretty much immediately, right? So you can see we had just a little bit of traffic here day 1, boom, we turn on traffic for day 2 or day 3, and you can see that we have really decent traffic coming through. Again, we have a bump here for an email outreach, and I think this second bump, I think we actually did 2 email outreaches here. We did a, hey, check this out email, hey, you don't want to miss it, and then the second email, I believe, was a, oh wow, tickets are running out, okay? Very standard fear of missing out type marketing that we used in that email. Now again, let's go across the top. Let's look at the page visits in total. 1,100 page visits for this one. We had 15 orders, roughly accounts for 29 tickets, right? So you can see there just the orders and the tickets sold just about 2x, right? Look at our conversion rate here. Conversion rate is a little bit lower for this event, okay? And again, we'll come back to conversion rates here in just a moment. In fact, let's go into them right now. With our Facebook ads, okay, so from the ad, how, what does that look like as far as getting traffic to actually come into that page? Well, right now we're seeing somewhere in that 1 to 2% range coming from Facebook, so from social media down into the actual sales page on Eventbrite. If you're seeing conversions there, if you're not getting 1% of your traffic to go through, something's wrong, right? It could be standard troubleshooting here. It's going to be the product itself, right? So maybe the event itself doesn't have charisma. Maybe your creatives, meaning the pictures, the images, the videos that you're using aren't working. Maybe it's the headline, maybe it's the descriptive text. Something is wrong there. So you'd have to go in and troubleshoot if you're seeing things that are less than 1%. If you're going above 2%, rock on. You have found a good mix, and you are really hitting it hard. So that's great. All right, so now let's go down a step. Let's go down to Eventbrite. What are we seeing as far as show me the money, right? Once we get folks to Eventbrite, somewhere in that range of 1.3 to 1.8%. You saw that from the previous 2 pages. That's roughly our conversion rate. So something greater than 1%, but something getting kind of close on some of those good events to 2%. So again, that's pretty standard, frankly, from what we've been seeing, and pretty standard really across the industry. So really it boils down to the more folks that you can drive into that sales page, the better off you're going to be. Okay, so now let's go back and take a look at one other thing here. So we're back now on dinner 1, and we've moved over a little bit here on the top. Now we're just looking at tickets sold, right? So you can see that the tickets sold box is now highlighted. And you can get an idea here for, all right, maybe there are some days when you're not selling any tickets, but then there are some days when you're selling 6 or 8 tickets, right? And I believe, let's see, on dinner 1, I believe somewhere around here, that may very well have been the day that we sent out the email to the entire subscriber list. So definitely, as I've said before, if you're not building an email list for your restaurant, it's a really good idea to go build one because it's kind of big. All right, so I want to also go in and show you the ticket sales for dinner 2. Again, we have 29 tickets sold, and you can see here again that there's some off days when nothing happened, and then the black line here, there's some days when you're selling 2 tickets, although we bumped up to 6 tickets, right back down to another 2. Looks like we had a 3 ticket sale there. On both of these charts, what I want to draw your attention towards is look at the orange line. So here's your orange line here. And we're going to go back to dinner sales too. Here's an orange line here. What is the orange line? Well, this is Eventbrite, okay? So Eventbrite is a platform, and obviously thousands of events are posted out there. Somebody's going to find your event just because they were on Eventbrite, not because they clicked on a social media ad, but they just happened to be on Eventbrite, stumbled across your event, and then decided to buy a ticket. Well, a lot of people will put an event on Eventbrite and say, oh, Eventbrite's going to do all the work for me. Not so. Go ahead and look at here. Of the 83 tickets that sold, a whopping 2 of them were sold from Eventbrite. 2%. Okay. Hey, we'll definitely take the 2 ticket sales, right? Don't get me wrong. But if you're waiting for Eventbrite to do all of this work for you, that is not the way that this world works, okay? At least here on this platform. Same thing for our dinner 2 that we have that I'm showing you. Again, we sold 2 tickets. That accounts for roughly 7% of the total sales. So let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Rules of thumb that we've been able to pull out from doing this ad work is obviously do not rely solely on Eventbrite for your ticket sales. 80% of the time, people are buying 2 tickets, okay? So obviously, most people dine in pairs. 80% of the time, people are purchasing 2 tickets. Roughly 12% of the time, people are purchasing an upsell, right? And that could be something like maybe there is a special table that you can go sit at, right? You get premium seating. It could be you get the chef's table, right? Okay, close to the back of the kitchen so you can see the action. Sometimes these are maybe you're going to buy upsell because you're getting extra drinks for the table, right? So there are a number of ways that you can cook upsells. And right now, we're seeing about 12% of people do the take on the upsell. The cost to drive traffic from Facebook, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. The average right now is about 50 cents per click. So what does that mean? Well, if you work the math backwards there on the conversion rates, what we're seeing right now is somewhere in the neighborhood of about a $25 ad spend is going to get you that sale of the 2 tickets. And again, your pricing there on your tickets, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, however much. Our average right now is that $25 in ad spend is generating 130 in ticket sales. Okay? The charisma of your event has a huge impact on the effectiveness of your campaign. Now, this is just marketing 101, right? What is the thing that you're selling? What is your offer, okay? So if your offer is really amazing, that's great. You will end up, if you have the kind of a one-of-a-kind thing that's happening here. So again, going back to thinking of the not doing something during a holiday, maybe you've got the celebrity chef, right? So something that's really unique and very different. If you're trying to do a Valentine's Day dinner when 30 other restaurants in town are also having tickets for Valentine's Day dinner, that's going to be a hard sell. So again, the charisma of that event really determines your effectiveness. If it's something really super unique, it works out well. And of course, pay attention to all the standard things that you would do on just designing a really good sales page, right? And I don't want to go too deeply into that there. But anyway, you get the idea. Just make sure that your sales page, what's over on Eventbrite, or even what's over on your website, make sure it has a really clear, distinct title. People know what they're getting. They understand the event really easy. 3 to 5 seconds tops. Lots of good bullet points in there. So anyway, there's plenty out there on sales page design. So I'll let you go find that. Now, if you are ready to increase your game, come on over to campaignsauce.com/intensives. I would love to sit down with you and help you design a marketing calendar for the entire year, for the next 6 months, for the next quarter. And let's start developing some of these campaigns for you while we're together, right? This is going to be face-to-face, live, in person here in our offices here at Estes Park, Colorado. We would love to be able to help you come together and really design some powerful marketing for your company. So check us out, look us up. We would love to hear from you. Again, my name is Jason Owens and hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Take care.